Hey y'all, welcome to the Swell Suite. Happy Friday. I know this throwback episode is a little late, but hey, I made it. We want to dedicate this episode to our friend of the wine family, Drew Baker. In the past couple of weeks, Drew has posted that he was recently diagnosed with leukemia, and he is chronicling his journey through treatment at this very moment. We just wanted to let Drew and his entire family, his sisters, Lisa and Ashley, all of their kids, their parents. We just wanted to let y'all know that we are thinking about y'all. So here is the episode Throwback with Drew Baker. Cheers. Hey guys, welcome to the Swirl Suite. Happy Wine Wednesday. Hey guys, how are you? Who do we have today?
Did your voice just change, Sarita?
I got a podcast voice. Why you got
Y'all hear that? Okay. Hey, everybody.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. Thanks, Tanisha.
Girl meets glasses in rare form as usual.
Oh my God.
Right, because it's not that late. So, like, I'm okay. I can be normal.
Oh, we didn't introduce ourselves. Who's on the call? In case everybody doesn't know our voices.
Hi, Sarita. It's Tanisha. Girl Meets Glass. I'm on the call live from Paris. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Now you sound like Girl 6.
Hey, whatever pays the bills, okay?
Okay, so, well, hello, everyone. This is Vino Noir, also known as Glennis. And I'm a Cancer.
Do you like long walks on the beach?
Oh, my God.
Long walks, nice wine, some bubbles maybe too, all the way from Silver Spring, Maryland, and it's live.
And this is Drew Baker from Old Westminster Winery.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Drew. You're silly.
Excuse our shenanigans, Drew.
I appreciate it. It makes it fun.
Exactly.
Drew didn't just meet us. He knows how it goes.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
There's nothing worse than boring, right?
Oh my God. Well, a couple things, but boring is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's at the top, right?
So Drew, for those who don't know you and don't know your winery, tell them who you are and where your winery is.
Yeah, sure. Old Westminster Winery is my family's farm. We are in rural Maryland, and we have been growing and producing wine. We got started in 2010, and the project is headed up by myself and my two sisters, Lisa Hinton and Ashley Johnson. And we are on a mission to put Maryland on the map and hopefully along the way make some really delicious, low intervention wines that folks enjoy and just tell a story about our little slice of this planet.
Nice.
I love it.
Well, for me, I know you made a great impact when I met you. I think it must have been in 2012, 2013, Drew, at Decanter. And I just couldn't believe I was drinking Maryland wine when I stood at your booth. And I wouldn't leave. It was like, okay, she will not move. Nope, I am not moving because this is the best wine I ever tasted from Maryland. I'm standing right. And when I tell people that, they're like, Glennis, stop. I'm like, you all have to try Old Westminster. When it comes to Maryland wine, you are my go-to. And I'm not just saying that because you're a guest on the show right now.
Well, I appreciate that very much. It definitely means a lot to have such positive remarks from someone that I respect as much as you. So thank you.
You are very welcome. I'll be asking for a favor once we go offline again, though.
Of course. I got you.
So this is going to ask for half a case of pet nat. That's what she's going to ask for.
No, I'll tell y'all later. It's a good thing, though. We're both gonna...
I'm staying after the call so I can hear it, too.
So, Drew, can you tell us how this all began? Like, what made you and your family, what inspired you to start a winery?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what inspired us? The whole project was born of humble and practical origins. I remember it was 2008, 2009, and we sat around the kitchen table, and my parents were trying to figure out what to do with the family farm. And the economy was bad at the time. My sisters and I had all gone away to college, so my parents were empty nesters, and they were trying to figure out what was next. And out of that, this crazy idea of starting an agricultural-based business together and trying to grow something and create a product that we were proud of and would bring our community together was the grand idea. And wine seemed like, at that time, crazy as it sounds, a really reasonable and feasible way to do that. I was in college studying business at the time. My sister Lisa was about to get her degree in chemistry, and she was thinking about going into medicine, but becoming a winemaker just sounded like a whole lot more fun. and so we, really kicked the tires on the whole idea. And, hindsight, it's amazing that we didn't make more rookie mistakes than we did, because this really is a first generation project. But yeah, we just kind of set out, lots of hard work and grit, and my parents put all their retirement into planting our first 7,500 vines, and we kind of went all in. I moved home from after, as soon as I graduated from college, I moved home for a couple of years and tended the vineyard, made wine, didn't pay myself, really just we bootstrapped it. And, fast forward, we are at a place now where we have a lot to be proud of. And it's just been a rewarding journey, that's for sure.
Nice. Well, you all have definitely done a great job. I think the first wine of yours that I tasted was the Albarino, and the Albarino just blew my socks off for a Maryland wine, because I don't think at the time that I knew of any other Maryland winery that were making such a good quality Albarino. So what other tell the listeners what other varietals that you all make, and which ones are your favorite? Besides, I know you might say all, but that might be a stupid question.
Right.
But.
No. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. And I would say Albarino is definitely at the top of the heap. It's definitely a grape that we do well in this region. It likes it here. It's from Rías Baixas in northwest Spain, and that's a particularly damp corner of Spain. There's a heavy maritime influence there, and we have our fair share of humidity and rain as well. So this grape variety has high acid, thick skins, well acclimated to our particular climate, and just makes really, really good wines here. Wines that I would stand up against any, which is a good feeling. I'm sort of captivated by our Native American and mixed heritage grape varieties, because I want us to make world-class wines from grape varieties that are from here. Here being not only our region, but the Americas, and just kind of challenge the notion that vinifera is the way to go, because I just think there's an entire category of grapes that can be grown organically, that are made from vines that have lived native in the woods here, for millennia without our help. And if we can find a way to coax some interesting wines from these varieties, then that's a story worth telling, I think.
Wow. Absolutely. Drew, when did you make the decision to go that route, to do it the organic, more natural way? Because when you first started out, I don't necessarily think that was your mission, and think that you grew different varietals. It wasn't.
Yeah, that's a really good question. But it's been part of our own evolution as well. And I think, that it's sort of, it's such as life. You learn lessons along the way. You find inspiration, and you seek to emulate that. So that's kind of what we're doing is, we've always had our ear to the ground. We've always had winemakers and wines that we have just sought out, taken notes on, appreciated, And, something that just really consistently in the early days captured us time and again was this idea of making wines without makeup. When you taste a wine that is not only delicious, but is, fermented with native yeast and is unfiltered, and it just seems to have life and character and a story that can often be removed via heavy fingerprints from a winemaker. So 2014, to answer your question, was our first year that we fermented all of our wines with native yeast. So no cultured yeast from 2014. And we learned a lot that year. We had some really good results. We also had some learning opportunities, and but it was it really was a sort of a paradigm shift for us and an opportunity to to get better the next year. But since that moment, we've really continued to double down on not only trying to make fundamentally delicious wines for Maryland, but also to make them in less, in minimal interventional ways.
Oh, nice.
So winemaking and working in wine altogether is difficult. Not only are you doing that, you and your family doing that, but you guys are bringing others along with you. How did you guys decide to do the co-op winery that I forgot the name of it, but
Maryland Wine Cellars.
Yes. How did you decide to do that?
Yeah, well, like most of our ideas, it's sort of born of necessity. It's like, okay, what are we going to do about this? And so we looked to winemaking models around the world, predominantly in Europe, those that are mature, and it's very it's almost, you don't find situations there where every single vineyard or every family has their own winery. There are lots of co-op and shared facility models there, and none of that existed here in Maryland. When we got started, we had no choice but to either make our own place to make wine or not have the option to make wine at all. So we set out to do that. It was not a small endeavor or inexpensive by any stretch. So we said, what would be an interesting model is if we offered winemaking services to others and really create sort of a symbiotic relationship in that we can share capacity, share overhead, in that we were able to share our infrastructure, our skill set, our excess capacity, and other winemakers in the region, neophyte winemakers that were looking to get into winemaking but lacked their own facilities, were able to get started with us without first having to make a massive term investment in their own facility.
So, hi, Drew. This is Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Hey, I noticed recently there are 2 other Maryland wineries that are now offering canned wine. So once again, you have set the pace for everyone. And I was wondering what started you guys down that path in the beginning?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Well, first of all, who are the other 2? Because I don't know that I've had them.
Somebody biting my style? Who doing it?
Right. Urban Winery, they were pouring their canned wine at the Weird Wines events.
Okay.
And then somebody else, I just got an email from, they were demoing or showing off their canned wine. So there are 2 other people.
Other interesting. Wineries. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we just, I guess 2 years ago now, we had a conversation early on and said, we want to double down, put our reputation on the line, and say that, we can make a really delicious and worth drinking wine that happens to be in a can, because from the environmental standpoint, cans, particularly BPA-free cans, just make a whole lot of sense. They are easy and likely to be recycled. They are lightweight, small format, and non-glass, safe. So that's what we liked about it. And so when we did can, we were actually the first farm winery on the East Coast to can. And it was, I think, a really important moment for us because initially there were definitely plenty of like eyebrows raised and question marks about it. But we really just kind of stuck to our story, which was, you know, that these are great wines true to our ethos that happen to be in cans. And, you know, fast forward, it's really served us well. And we are, you know, we sell out of all of our cans. We're distributing in a dozen states. And I think if we had more wine, we could sell it more. I mean, it's just been really exceptionally well received. And just, you know, frankly, a lot of fun along the way. And it's just provided a medium for creativity that doesn't exist in bottles.
Well, I think it's great, and congratulations being recognized by the Post as one of the better rosés in this area, and it's one of your canned products. So congratulations on that.
That's cool. I don't know that either. So please send that to me.
I sure will.
I live under a rock.
You live under a vineyard. That's what you live under. You live under some grapevines.
You busy.
You know, people are fascinated with the idea of canned wine. I think I told you all this, but Drew spoke to my class last semester, and he talked about his canned wine. And those students were so fascinated with the idea of canned wine. They were like, so Americans drink wine in a can? And they kept asking him questions about the canned wine. I'm like, he has so much other stuff to talk about. They're like, no, we have more questions about these cans. Why do you drink in a can?
Yeah. Well, you know, we're just a little bit ahead of the curve. In a couple of years, they're going to say, "Oh, I remember hearing about this," when they see them everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know if Frank's is going to catch on to that just yet, but yeah, we'll see. They still have trouble with screw tops.
Yeah, it's coming.
Fingers crossed for them. Fingers crossed.
Canned wines are great for outdoor events as well, like sporting events, tailgating. So I know you all probably made a great impact in this area, especially at the Skins Stadium. And you're being very modest because those cans, the volume in the cans are almost like 2 glasses.
Yes.
Some proprietors are
piped up for that one.
to make a nice profit, I will say, Drew. So thank you for that as well. So people, it's worth every dollar, but don't be sticker shocked.
Okay. I had it when I was at Dio. That's what we had, right, Sarita? We got the
yeah.
It was $25 a can.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, in the restaurant. Yeah.
So that's like 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
Which if you had just a regular, you know, a glass of wine in the DC area.
Sponsored that for us. Did somebody? Okay.
No, I had that on my tab.
Yeah. So you know, I almost had a heart attack because I'm not used to those numbers. But,
it was very much worth it. I totally. Because it's old Westminster, so I had to try it. That was my first.
You just saying that because Drew's on the phone.
No, I was saying, you know me. Wait a minute.
No, I'm kidding. You can say that anyway. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She knows me.
We lost her.
Drew dropped off.
Who we lose?
We lost
Drew.
Right.
Oh, no.
Lost the guest of honor. Well,
he must be in the vines.
You're out there at Burnt Hill. Oh yeah, do we need to talk more about the Solstice Festival and the Burnt Hill?
I want to hear about Burnt Hill and how the summer solstice came together.
Can we get more into your new voice, Sarita, please?
What is this about? I'm regular. I know I had some.
Glennis, will you tell her Glennis, is she regular? Is this regular? Is this regular, everybody?
Right, exactly.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh,
okay.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Just in time.
We want to ourselves in your absence.
We want to hear about Burnt Hill and summer solstice.
Yeah. So Burnt Hill Farm is a farm that sort of represents a new frontier for Old Westminster Winery. We set out about 3 years ago to find, in our mind, the perfect hillside to grow more grapes. And after a long search, we found this place and think that it has all of the characteristics needed to make wines that are really delicious and special. And so we have been working on farming this place for the last 2.5 years now, rotating cover crops, doing biodynamic farming preparations, and we just finally set out and planted our first 20,000+ grapevines about a month ago. And so it will be several years, obviously, before we take our first crop and are able to make wine from grapes on this hill. But what we thought that would be just a lot of fun and an opportunity to just bring community together, build some positive energy, would be to have an event where we invite and celebrate people who have inspired us along the way. So we invited, I just reached out to all of the winemakers whose wines I really love and said, hi, I love your wines and we're having this event. Would you be interested in coming here and being a part of this in the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area? And shockingly, so many of those who I really look up to have said yes, which is really cool. So we have 30 of, to my mind, the best winemakers from around the country that are coming here on June 22nd on summer solstice, which is just a really fun day, to pour and share their wines alongside some really great food and music and art and all that good stuff. So that's what summer solstice is.
Oh, so the Swirl Sweets invitations are in the mail, correct?
Yes.
Just gave it to you
Well,
right
I know
there.
Sarita's coming, but yes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Hey, Jim.
He said winemakers he looked up to and liked, not wine drinkers. We different.
But
We the second string. Like these invites go out later. That goes out.
media,
Our Evite got lost in the internet is what happened.
That's awesome.
Drew, you did this one post about, I think you guys had buried shells or something like that at Burnt Hill.
Oh,
And I didn't quite understand. Could you explain what you guys had done?
Sure, yeah. So it's going to sound crazy, but those were cow horns.
Oh, okay.
And,
Biodynamic part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we filled those cow horns with manure.
Yeah.
And that manure is from my neighbor's farm. And then those cow horns and that manure were buried 3 feet in the ground where they rest to this day. And the idea is that they are that the manure is transforming inside of these horns as berries, and we will dig them up and make a tea from this manure and spread it on our fields as a sort of inoculum.
Yes.
That will bring just really good flora. So think yeast and bacteria that live in the soil and bring lots of life. And there's a lot of nuance. The idea that cows, so cows that are grazed, on a particular hillside based on soil conditions, weeds and plants have an amazing ability to sort themselves. And based on the characteristics of the ground, that's what grows there naturally. Cows have these amazing stomachs where when they graze on a particular hillside, based on the nutrients that they're taking in, their stomachs manufacture the perfect medicine for the soil. So it's the idea that the plants sort themselves and tell you what's going on in the soil. And then the cows eat those plants, and their manure is medicine for the soil. So it's sort of like, a mother's milk for her child. There's just like so much to it that really doesn't make sense, and it's kind of crazy, but it often carries just the perfect remedy for a child's illness. Similarly, cows have this relationship with the land. So that's why they that's why cow horns, and particularly the manure from cows from your farm, are particularly a special combination.
Wow.
Nice.
Anyway, sounds weird, I know.
It doesn't.
But
No, it's a thing. Like, that is the process. And then, also some other things where people pick the grapes and all that by the temperature and the cycle and the phases of the moon and things like that. I mean, you have to try different things. And you are doing something kind of cutting edge and new anyway. So yeah, while it may sound weird now, in a few years when everyone's doing it, then
Exactly.
you'll be the first. And they're like, oh, well, we did this because Mr. did it.
There's so many other situations where, there are so many other situations where it's just so easy and obvious to see the control that the moon and the planets have on our particular environment as it relates to weather patterns and tides in the ocean. And, I think that we are, and I just mean broadly speaking, are so used to, just looking at the app on our phone to see what's going on, that there's you lose a connectedness to what's actually happening. And there's just a little element of trying to pay closer attention to those sorts of things and to recognize that, there's more going on than meets the eye if you really take the time to stop and to listen.
Exactly. It's always better to be congruent with an ecosystem than to be in conflict with it, because you will not get the yield that you want. If you are a great yield that is profitable. So I totally understand, and it's great to actually hear that. You congruent,
not in conflict. I like that. That's good. That's a hashtag.
Yeah, and that came from the soil whisperer, so we got to go with that. We got to believe that.
Yeah.
It's demonstrated, man. This is literally gospel. The soil whisperer.
And so, Drew, this is our last serious question. What kind of advice do you give? For now, what advice do you give to future winemakers?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Make better wine. Like, how about that? Step your game up.
Yeah. I think that the advice that I would give would be to try to make something that you love, and that interests and inspires you, because I think what there is too much of in wine, and that we could all do without, is the production of wines that we think other people are going to like and that we don't love ourselves, because it's really hard to tell a story and to share and to get behind and believe in something that you don't love yourself. Like, people can just feel that and see it from a mile away. And also it just takes I think a lot of energy and passion and will to, stick with things along the way, because it really isn't easy, both in terms of time and energy and money and effort and sacrifice and all of those sorts of things. And boy, is it so much worse when you're not into it, So my advice would be to make sure that you're doing something that you love and that you're making something that you personally believe in, first and foremost.
Oh,
love it.
I agree totally. Can you tell the listeners where you can, what your distribution is like, and where your wines can be found?
Yeah, for sure. So in the Mid-Atlantic is obviously where we have the best representation. Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, Philadelphia, and then there are select places in New Jersey. We do, our wines aren't impossible to find in New York, and we have pretty good representation in Boston and Massachusetts, and then Maine, just like in the Portland area. So again, not a lot, not everywhere for sure, but there are places to find our products there in those states, and then also California. So yeah. And Ohio. So I would be happy to send a link, or if anyone wants to reach out. And then we do ship and sell wine online as well. But those are the states that we distribute to.
Great. Great.
Okay. Drew, I have a question about your social media, because you and your family are very active and come up with new, different, and exciting ways to interact with people. How do you come up with some of the different things that you've done? And do you still do the the lunch with the winemakers, where you sit down and do that with your sisters? Is that
No, but we shouldn't we?
I mean, I'd watch it late because I'm behind. But yeah, so how do you even come up with that? Because you keep people, we know everything that's going on. I feel like I still live there in Maryland, and know everything that's going on with the family, with Old Westminster and all that. So how do you have a specific strategy, or do you just say, hey, we just want to share what we're doing with everyone? Yeah, just always looking to storytell and, not make anything up. We say document, not create. Yes.
And the idea, so all about that. Mm-hmm. And the idea is to just kind of share what we're doing. And the good news is that, wine and growing grapes is interesting to most people, if nothing else. So it's a good story to tell and to share. And that's really our MO. And I personally think we could do a better job, but we definitely do make sure to the best of our ability that we're always taking a couple of minutes to put our thoughts and what we're into or thinking about or trying to do either onto paper or into a video or a picture, etc.
Wow, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just let me know when you get back to the, dinner with or lunch with the winemakers. That was fun.
Yeah, it was really
good. Yeah. That was a lot of fun, and I personally miss that very much. But I guess I'm full of excuses, really. But
I
should.
Yeah, y'all busy. Everybody pregnant. It's not y'all can't do
Exactly. Life takes over, and sometimes it's hard to stop and drop whatever you're doing to film yourself for 30 minutes.
Kids need to be fed. Somebody's diaper got to be changed. Stuff happens.
Right. Exactly.
No, I get it.
Okay, so this is the part of the show, Drew, where we just ask random questions to get to know you a little bit better. So our first question is, who out of your siblings is the best cook?
Oh, boy.
Get Drew in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I would say definitely not me. That is, I would say probably Ashley. Though I would say that none of us are particularly gifted cooks.
Okay.
We make food for sustenance for sure, but I think the wine is always the star at the table.
Gotcha.
But you know what? You have really great posts of whatever you're cooking for dinner. I mean, I'm always waiting for my invitation because it looks so delicious. So.
Oh yeah, I put some things together, but but it's never that impressive. That's for sure.
Okay.
I would say I'm not that creative. I make good food, but it's not very creative.
As long as nobody dies, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay, Drew. Name a profession that you would like to try for a day. And this question is for everybody.
Ooh. You are really catching me off guard. This is good. What is something that I would like to do for a day? Well, we were just talking about food, so I think that it would be really fun to work as a chef in a kitchen where you get the opportunity to be really creative and make interesting food.
So like a fusion restaurant, maybe a Michelin star, or maybe
just something totally out of my ordinary strike zone.
Okay.
What about you guys?
What about you all?
What would I want to do for a day?
I have always wanted to be the beer person. Walk up and down, go, cold beer.
No way. Are you kidding me?
I did. I always, but now that I'm older and have a mature shape, I don't think I could do the steps anymore. But I always wanted to do that.
I like that she said, no, I don't think I could walk up the steps. I'm like, I would spill all the beer. I would take 2 steps and beer would be on somebody's back. Like, it would be a wrap for me. Then I got to buy all the beer.
Funny.
That's hilarious.
I didn't see that one coming.
No, not at all.
Well,
hey, I want to change mine though. I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool to be a pilot of like a military jet or something. I wouldn't want to be a pilot of a plane with a bunch of other people on it just because that would be stressful. But I think it would be really fun to be like a pilot in like a mean jet that was just me in it.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's funny. For me, I guess retirement.
But just for a day, no. Like I want that. Like
I get addicted to that. I wouldn't go back to work.
Yeah,
right. I'd be like, nope, this day was too good.
And there you have it.
3:17.
Just retirement.
What about you, Talisha?
What? For a day, I'd want to be a cabaret singer on a cruise ship.
I can see that.
I can so see that.
Totally.
Yeah, I want to be a cabaret singer on a cruise ship. Like have a whole show is dedicated to like Anita Baker, Whitney Houston, and Shaka Khan. There you go.
Are you gonna do wardrobe changes?
What? Yes. Wardrobe, makeup, hair. We doing it all. Okay. And then I gotta take my shoes off like Patti LaBelle, sing around the stage, grab people from the crowd. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Who is under the handle just in the bottle?
Oh, just the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she just went and saw the Countess Luann.
Mm-hmm.
She was local, and so I asked her what it was like, and she was like, "It was a hot mess." I was like, I live for that. I would love to see that train wreck. But she said everybody in the audience was drunk, and it was it was a hot mess.
Perfect. My kind of crowd. Like, right. Y'all gonna boo me on the cruise ship? Where else y'all going? No, y'all got
right. What about you, Sarita?
I think I would be the person who's the announcer at basketball games.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I'd like to try that for a day.
So this is great. We have you announcing the games, Leslie bringing the beers up and down.
I'll do the flyover.
And is getting the entertainment during halftime.
There it is. Whole show.
Yeah.
And Drew is flying overhead.
Right. Yeah. Drew flies his plane over, drops beer out of it, or parachute. I don't know.
Or has that
jump out.
Saying, what's going on? Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, he flies the plane with the banner in the back.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It says drink old Westminster wine. There you go.
Yep. There you go.
That is hilarious. Okay, Drew. So I think I saw on Instagram that one of your favorite restaurants to go to and to partner with is Woodbury Kitchen.
Well, we hope so. We got to edit this out.
Yeah, I love Woodbury Kitchen. Have you been there before?
Yes, I have. So what's one of your favorite meals to have there?
Oh man, I usually my strategy when I go to a restaurant where I know the food is going to be good is I always ask the waiter or waitress what they're into or what's really good right then, because sometimes like the menu's always changing based on the season. So I always ask for recommendations. And then if I like what they say, I go with it. And if I don't, I pick something else. But I really love their rockfish. I've had rockfish there before. That was just so good.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
You never been? It's really good. It's kind of like Founding Farmers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, farm to table. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They have a special that was on Cheap Eats during happy hour. And what was it? It was I think it was either a drink or something during happy hour, but it was $1.
Wow.
$1?
Yeah.
Huh.
Nice. Nice.
All right. Well, I will Google that and I will put that in the show notes.
Yeah, it was definitely on
it is. All right. Drew, next question. Name a family tradition that you guys have.
Well, my wife and I, we just started a mini family tradition where every year at Christmas, we sit down and we film ourselves having like a little conversation where we just like chat about like what's going on, what happened this year, you know, what were the highs, the lows, like
that's
funny stuff, all of that sort of thing. And so we filmed it for the first time 2 years ago, which was the day before Noelle was born. And then we did it again this past year where it was the day before her 1-year-old birthday. And I am looking forward to doing that over time. And like, you know, as the family grows and all that kind of stuff. And then someday being able to like go back and watch 15 or 20-minute conversations from each year. I just think that'll be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So cute.
Excellent.
I love it.
That's excellent.
That's about to be my new tradition. I'm gonna just talk to myself. I'll be like, hey y'all, listen. It's like the new journaling. Like, I mean, you know,
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Exactly. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so this next question is for everybody. When your palate is exhausted with wine, we've been to events and tastings and judgings where we've had to sip and drink wine all day. What do you drink to give your palate a break?
Beer.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I want an ice cold blonde beer. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends. Like I could go with a nice little Pilsner or something simple and easy. But I'm a cocktail person myself.
Yeah.
So like when I'm ready to, but like that's not a good like refresher to get back to wine. That's like when we're done with wine. Like then I like to have a cocktail.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm a margarita girl. Give me a nice, and if it's frozen and good and strong, that's even better.
Yeah, I could have one of those as well.
I'm off tequila. Tequila has never been good to me. I'm not doing it.
You just haven't found the right tequila.
You know what? And I'm not trying anymore. I'm done. I mean, you just gotta get to a point where you just realize like this just isn't for you. Like everything's not for you, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Gin has done me much better and has never turned on me the way tequila has.
Wow. Now, are you blaming the spirit or should be?
Of course, it's a spirit. I'm blaming it.
Or the amount of the intake of that spirit.
Oh no, tequila is an evil spirit.
Oh, wow. You got to tell us about what tequila has done to you.
Exactly.
No.
For tequila.
Glennis, did you answer?
Red lights ain't recording. We're never talking about that. Some stories are going to the grave. Okay.
If I'm being a responsible adult, Sarita, it would be H2O, a little glass of water, and more water and more water. But if I'm not being a responsible adult and I need to have something else or want something else to drink, it depends on where I am. So if I know the place makes good cocktails, I'll have a cocktail. But always, beer is a steady, non-surprising elixir. Let me put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what you're getting, you know what you're paying for, and it's consistent. So it would be a beer, probably a Stella.
And for me, it's always cold. Like I need something, I want something ice cold. And also, real talk, after wine tastings, if we're actually tasting, I really just want a full glass of something. Like I feel like I've been teased the whole day.
Right.
Taste it. I would like to drink a full glass of one thing.
Yep. That's why I always go for the water.
So
First.
yeah, so like I've had some sips of water, but water, you know, they usually don't have a cold. So that's why I'm like, you know what, let me get this beer. I'll be playing with this water situation. So
Leslie, did you answer?
would settle for water if it was cold, but it's not. So you got to go for beer.
Yeah, that's what I gotta go with beer.
Exactly.
Water's not cold.
Exactly.
Water's not
That's a
cold.
likely excuse.
Oh, so you know they don't really do ice here like that in water. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, it has to be ice cold vodka with the twist of lime.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. The big girl, that's the big girl drink going on
Hair on your chest.
Right. Listen, I don't.
All right. All right.
She didn't say with soda. She didn't say with a tonic.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
With a twist of lime.
Yeah.
Just on.
Not lime juice, just the rind, just in the glass for garnish.
That's it.
Yeah, ice cold. All right.
But I think part of it's the coldness
Yeah.
Yeah.
that wakes up your palate. Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right, Ju. So our last question. What do you do after a long day of winemaking? How do you unwind?
Well,
I usually don't. I like to. So I work a lot, and I like what I do. So after a long day of winemaking, I usually try to catch up on all the other things I need to do. But in terms of like, I like to go for either a walk or a jog, like get my steps, and that's like a good time for me to think. I think well when I'm walking or doing a nice little light jog, and that's something that I really like to do in the evenings. Even after I put Noelle to bed, I'll go walk around the block a couple of times and just kind of gather my thoughts and get some steps.
That's so healthy.
Right, it is.
Yeah, I'm just making up for all the days that I don't do that.
I'm like, it sounds good. Then I'm also like, dang, Drew don't have a Netflix account?
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny. I was writing the questions and I was just like, I could ask him about food, but their family don't look like they eat processed food. I can't ask them what cereal they like. I don't know.
You're like, yeah, do you like pizza or hot dogs? He's like, I don't know about those foods. We eat vegan cheese.
Yeah, no, I drink all my calories.
Got it.
There's nothing
No,
wrong with
but
that.
over the weekend I was in Philadelphia and doing a wine tasting, and I had an event. And at the end of the night, the restaurant that I was doing the event at, the kitchen had closed, and I was like, I guess the owner could see on my face that I was disappointed that the kitchen was closed, and she was like, all right. She came back out and she was like, well, so the kitchen is closed, but she was like, we have donuts and soft pretzels with beer cheese, and I was like, I'll take this.
Oh,
at
that is
about
actually a
12:30
great compromise.
about
Like,
12:30 in
that's
the morning,
it.
I had a mezcal cocktail, a donut, and a soft pretzel. So
Love it.
I carb loaded.
That sounds like a good night. That was worth it, you being
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I thought you were gonna say a cheesesteak, but I'm like, that might
I
have been
thought he was going to say a
too.
cheesesteak too.
Or like a hoagie, something. But he said
Yeah.
no.
Oh.
But that's all pretzel. That
Pretzel.
Guys, any more questions for Drew before he closes us out?
So I don't have a question, but I just want to say that when Vino 301 first started, that the Baker family was one of the very few people that supported us. And I think you will always have my support, because those were really meager times then, and you guys stood behind Vino 301. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, well, that's so sweet of you, and it means a lot, and I thank you. And similarly, it was a pleasure to host you and your clients, and really support. Thank you for wanting to bring people to Old Westminster Winery. So thank you.
Well, she has some more people she's going to try to talk to you about bringing.
Are there 3 people on this call?
That's
Are there 3 people on this call? Because I know it's been some new developments since I visited, so I gotta, get back out there. If I decide to step foot on American soil, we'll see how it goes.
Oh,
well, if you were trying to butter me up, it worked.
Well, now that we got you buttered up,
it's so
we
true.
really
We are going to let you go, but before you leave, please tell everybody where they can find and follow you on social media.
Yeah, oldwestminsterwinery.com. At Old Westminster Winery on Instagram is probably your best bet. And then on Facebook too. We're on there, and I'm not sure what our handle is for Facebook, but if you just punch in Old Westminster Winery, you'll find it.
Awesome. Well, Drew, thank you so much for joining us. This was a pleasure.
Yes, it was. Lots of fun. Thanks for inviting me to hang out.
No problem at all.
Well, have a good night, y'all.
You too.
Have a great
Thank you, Drew. Thank you.
Bye, Drew.
everything. Bye.
Thanks for joining this Well Sweet today, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode with Drew. Don't forget to check out Old Westminster on Instagram. All right. Thanks again to Drew Baker for that episode, and we are praying for him. So next week we have one more throwback after our spring break, and we'll be back to our regular schedule in May. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Cheers.